Hibiki Manabe, an ordinary high school student, is suddenly transported to a dangerous fantasy world filled with monsters and unknown threats. But unlike the heroes of legend, he doesn't receive a powerful combat class. Instead, he's given a seemingly useless ability, Appraiser Provisional. No strength, no magic, no way to fight, just the power to analyze and understand. At first, even Hibiki fails to see its value, but then he learns the truth. It's a AAA rank skill, an ability so rare, it's something every adventurer would dream of having in a world filled with danger. The ability to track enemies, avoid getting lost, and see what others cannot, can mean the difference between life and death. From that moment on, Hibiki begins to understand his power isn't meant for fighting, it's meant for winning, before the fight even begins. As he meets allies, builds a party, and uncovers the hidden truths of this mysterious world, the boy with the weakest class proves something incredible. The one who sees everything can overcome anything. The story begins with a boy named Hibiki Manabe running desperately for his life. He's screaming at the top of his lungs, not because it'll help, but because he simply can't stop. Panic has completely taken over. He doesn't even know where he is, only that something is chasing him. As he runs, he catches a glimpse of the creature pursuing him, a strange monster that looks like a rabbit with a horn. Confused and terrified, he blurts out what kind of creature it is. Suddenly, a calm, emotionless voice echoes in his head. It identifies the creature, a horn rabbit level 1, that only makes things worse. Hibiki freezes in confusion. Whose voice is that? Why is it inside his head? The voice continues asking him if he would like to enable voice guidance or terminate it. Panicking at the thought of being completely alone, Hibiki quickly refuses to turn it off. Right then, the horn rabbit lunges at him. In the chaos, it gets stuck in his bag, and Hibiki falls right on top of it, accidentally killing it just like that. His first battle ends in pure luck. Elsewhere, the scene briefly shifts to a mysterious elf girl. A strange voice informs her that something important has fallen. Confused, she questions it. But before she can process anything, something unexpected happens, catching her completely off guard. Back to Hibiki. Now safe for the moment, he tries to calm himself down. He checks his phone. No signal, no clue where he is, no explanation for that strange voice. Maybe he's just imagining things. But then his stomach growls, his eyes slowly drift toward the dead horn rabbit. He hesitates. There's no way he can eat that, right? He doesn't even know how to start a fire, let alone whether the meat is safe. Then the voice returns. It calmly appraises the rabbit again, and explains that the meat is edible and even suitable for stew. Still unsure, Hibiki decides to take it with him just in case. As he picks it up, he realizes something. This is the first time he's ever touched a dead creature. The situation is starting to feel very real. Trying to understand what's going on, Hibiki begins experimenting. He picks up his bag and asks the voice about it. The voice responds, "It's a backpack made from materials that don't even exist in this world." That only confuses him more. He starts pointing at random things, the sky, the ground, trying to trigger answers, but the voice only responds when there's a valid target. At one point, it suddenly identifies something nearby as a maze eater, level 273. Hibiki is stunned. Level 273? That's not just dangerous. That's terrifying. Out of curiosity, he decides to appraise himself. The voice displays his stats. Name, Hibiki Manabe. Age, 16. Race, human. Occupation, appraiser, provisional. That last part shocks him. He's just a normal high school student. So what does appraiser provisional even mean? When he asks more questions, the voice refuses to explain it, introduces itself as status support, and states that it cannot provide personal information. Hibiki gets frustrated. It knows everything about him, yet won't answer anything in return. Still, he notices he has multiple skills. Not fully understanding them, he decides to try one. Conductor's eye. Trying to look cool, he shouts the activation dramatically, but nothing happens. Instant embarrassment. Next, he tries activating the tutorial, but the voice tells him it has already been completed. That only confuses him further, so instead he activates something called the world map. A display appears, but it's not what he expected. Instead of a full map, it only shows the path he's walked so far, and that's when he realizes something unfortunate. He's been walking in circles this entire time, completely lost. With no better option, Hibiki decides to follow the path anyway, hoping it will eventually lead him somewhere. As time passes, evening begins to fall. Hibiki keeps walking, and finally he sees something different. A road. Relief instantly washes over him. He's done it. He's finally escaped the grasslands. Overwhelmed with excitement, he rushes forward, but in his carelessness, he trips and slams his head onto the ground. As he lies there, feeling the cold stone beneath him, the mysterious voice appears again, announcing that he has gained a new title. Castaway in another world. Hibiki is confused. A title? What does that even mean? But before he can think further, he senses something beside him, a monster. The moment he notices it, panic explodes inside him, and he screams so loudly that even the monster gets startled. Right then, an arrow flies through the air and strikes the creature, knocking it down instantly. Someone saved him. Standing on top of a rock nearby is the same elf girl seen earlier, Amalia. As Hibiki looks at her in shock, the voice activates again, announcing a new function. Translation: from now on, all conversations will be automatically understood. Hibiki doesn't fully process it, but he's just relieved he can communicate. The elf girl approaches him calmly and asks if he's hurt. He quickly thanks her for saving his life. She introduces herself as Amalia. Hibiki introduces himself too, Manabe Hibiki. But as he looks at her, he can't help but stare at her ears. They're long and pointed. Confused, he casually asks if she's an elf, and even assumes it might be some kind of cosplay. Amalia, clearly confused by the word, doesn't understand what he's talking about. Then she asks an important question. Why was he in the Maze Eater grasslands? Hibiki freezes. Maze Eater? He has no idea what she's talking about. Seeing his reaction, Amalia is shocked. He entered that place without even knowing what it was. Hibiki awkwardly explains that he somehow ended up there without realizing. She can't believe it. Curious, Hibiki secretly uses his appraisal skill on her. The voice reveals, name Amalia Steinbelt, race, elf, age 56. Hibiki is stunned, 56? But she looks so young, that's when it hits him. This is a real elf, not cosplay, and it seems like only he can hear the voice. Amalia has no idea she's being analyzed. Amalia then explains the truth about the Maze Eater. A creature that disguises itself as a grassland, trapping anyone who enters it, doesn't attack directly. Instead, it confuses its victims, making them wander endlessly until they collapse from exhaustion, and then it devours them. Hibiki realizes just how close he was to death. He was literally about to be eaten alive. Seeing how shaken he is, Amalia gently hugs him, reassuring him that he's safe now. She praises him for surviving on his own, but then she casually calls him a small child. Hibiki is caught off guard. A child? He asks how old she thinks he is. She answers, around 10 or 11. Hibiki immediately corrects her. He's 16, and that shocks her to her. He looks like a small child, yet he's already considered an adult. That difference in perception immediately shows how different this world is from his own. As night falls, the two of them sit together by a small fire. Amalia apologizes, saying she didn't expect someone of his size to be an adult. Hibiki doesn't mind and reassures her, it's fine. He learns something important here. In this world, people become adults at the age of 15. Then, they finally eat. Amalia prepares food, and Hibiki gratefully enjoys the meal. For someone who was starving and lost just a short time ago, this moment feels like salvation. She even thanks him in return for bringing the horned rabbit meat, which helped with the meal. After eating, she offers him tea, and the two sit quietly. But then Hibiki asks a simple question. Where is this place? And that question completely catches Amalia off guard. She literally spits out her tea in shock. To her, it's unbelievable that someone wouldn't know where they are. She explains that this is the kingdom of Havarastia. Hibiki freezes. That confirms it. This isn't just some unknown land, it's another world. When he says he's from a place called Japan, Amalia has never even heard of it. That removes all doubt, he truly doesn't belong here. Seeing his situation, Amalia becomes more gentle. She understands that he must be anxious being alone in a completely unfamiliar world, so she offers to help him and take him to a nearby town. Hibiki, relieved, thanks her sincerely. For the first time since arriving in this world, he's not alone anymore. Later that night, Hibiki falls asleep. As he sleeps peacefully, Amalia watches him quietly. She notices how trusting he is, even though they just met. His clothes are strange, unlike anything she's ever seen. Everything about him feels unusual. Then she remembers the words from earlier. The spirits said something important had fallen, and now she realizes that something important might be this boy. As she looks at him, she wonders, who exactly is Hibiki? With that thought lingering in her mind, she slowly falls asleep as well. Then the scene shifts into a dream. Hibiki finds himself back in his normal world, surrounded by his friends, like nothing ever happened. Amane calls out to him, teasing him for spacing out, then hands him a drink, her special. Hibiki takes a sip and his face lights up. It tastes amazing, even better than usual. For a moment he forgets everything else. They joke around like always. Hibiki casually mentions that he's an adult now, even if his height hasn't changed much. Kyoko reassures him that he's still growing, while Amane jumps in joking that she hasn't given up on growing either. The conversation turns playful. Taiki points out that Hibiki actually benefits from his looks, that older women seem to like him. He starts listing funny examples, the bakery lady giving him extra food, the convenience store clerk smiling at him, even the bento shop staff treating him nicely. Hibiki denies it, embarrassed, while Taiki keeps going, half serious and half joking. Then Taiki starts talking about summer, how it's almost vacation time, and how he wants to get close to a beautiful older girl and experience things. The others immediately shut him down, calling him an idiot. It's a normal, silly conversation, the kind Hibiki took for granted. But then, the mood shifts. Hibiki's expression changes as reality starts to creep back in. He quietly thinks to himself, it was supposed to be almost summer vacation. He remembers that day clearly, the closing ceremony, walking toward his classroom, and then suddenly a blinding light. Everything disappeared, and before he could even understand what was happening, a voice welcomed him. Welcome to another world. Hibiki suddenly wakes up. The warmth of the dream disappears instantly. Now he's back in the unfamiliar world, lying under the night sky. The reality hits him hard. Amane, Kyoko, Taiki, his friends, they must be worried about him, but then something strange catches his attention. Around him, faint green lights are floating and sparkling in the air. Confused, he asks what they are, and the mysterious voice immediately responds. It's a barrier magic, a spell that monitors the area and alerts the user if an intruder enters. Hearing that, Hibiki finally accepts it fully. This really is another world. Magic exists here. Still trying to understand his situation, he wonders how he can return home since there are no answers yet. He decides to at least check his own abilities. He opens his status again and focuses on his occupation. The voice explains that it was assigned using something like a dictionary system, possibly something given by a god. His job is Appraiser, a support-type class that allows him to analyze people, objects, and abilities. But there's a catch. It's ranked B, and more importantly, it has no combat abilities at all. That means in a dangerous world like this, Hibiki has no direct way to fight. And then there's the word that bothers him the most, provisional. What does that even mean? He doesn't understand it yet. With no clear answers and still exhausted, he decides to stop thinking and go back to sleep. The next morning, the perspective shifts to Amalia. She slowly wakes up and remembers what happened the day before, saving Hibiki. At first she calls him a kid in her mind, but quickly corrects herself. He's technically an adult. Then another realization hits her. She just spent the night sleeping next to a man. That makes her a bit flustered. She tries to justify it, thinking that in adventuring parties, men and women sleeping near each other is normal. But then she admits to herself, she's never actually been in a party before, and that makes things a little awkward, even a bit lonely. Suddenly, Hibiki wakes up too. They greet each other with a slightly awkward good morning. Then he mentions something strange. A button on her clothes came loose during the night and surprised him when he noticed it. He points out her chest. There's a brief silence, and then instantly, she punches him. After that awkward punch, the mood calms down as both of them continue walking through the forest. Amalia apologizes for hitting him, feeling a bit embarrassed about her reaction. Hibiki brushes it off, saying he's fine now, but he also admits something important. If he hadn't drunk her potion earlier, he might have actually died. That makes it clear just how dangerous this world really is. As they keep walking, Hibiki asks about the nearest town, Lowell. Amalia explains that if they pass through the forest, they should reach it in about half a day. That sounds simple, but there's a problem. Monsters. Hibiki nervously brings it up, but Amalia confidently reassures him. Since she's with him, it'll be fine. Then she suddenly gets curious. How did Hibiki even notice monsters in the first place? Hibiki casually mentions his skill, world map. The moment she hears that, her reaction completely changes. She's shocked. A AAA rank skill? That's extremely rare. Basically something every adventurer would dream of having. Meanwhile, Hibiki is confused. To him, it doesn't seem that amazing. It just shows surroundings, monsters, and the path he walked. But Amalia quickly explains how valuable that is. In a dangerous world, being able to track enemies and avoid getting lost can literally save your life. It's the kind of ability that could decide whether you live or die. Then she asks about his occupation. Hibiki hesitates and answers, Appraiser, Provisional. That just confuses her even more. Provisional? What does that even mean? Even Hibiki doesn't know. And when he asks if his skill is really that great, Amalia almost can't believe it. He truly doesn't understand how valuable it is. At that point, she bluntly tells him the truth. He has no common sense. He's ignorant, completely clueless about this world. Hibiki can't even argue back. He just apologizes. Trying to lighten the mood, Hibiki suddenly asks if she has any friends. She says of course she does. Then a little awkwardly Hibiki asks, "Then, I'm your friend too, right?" There's a brief pause. It's a simple question, but it carries weight. Before things can get too emotional though, Hibiki quickly checks his surroundings again using his skill. Something is nearby, a crystal horn rabbit. The moment Amalia hears that name, her attitude completely changes. She gets excited. This isn't just any monster. It's incredibly rare. Its horn is extremely valuable and can be used to create a panacea, a powerful medicine. If sold, it could easily fetch around 200 gold coins. Suddenly, this turns from a simple walk into a chance to make serious money. They quietly move forward and finally spot it, the crystal horn rabbit. Hibiki immediately uses his appraisal skill again, and this time he learns something important. It has a special ability, escape speed. It also has presence detection. It can sense danger, meaning it's almost impossible to catch normally. Now, Amalia uses her magic. Sound cut, odor cut. This hides them completely. Hibiki is impressed, but Amalia actually praises Hibiki more because his world map skill lets him detect enemies that are normally impossible to find. She even tells him, with that ability, he'd be highly valuable in any adventurer party. But Hibiki still lacks confidence. He thinks, "I'm not a fighter. I can't do that." Amalia awkwardly suggests forming a party with him, then immediately takes it back out of embarrassment. She acts like she's not interested in companions, but it's obvious. She doesn't want to be alone. Now they prepare to attack. Amalia reveals her class, Spiritual Archer. She can create arrows using wind spirits. She fires, but the rabbit instantly dodges. They realize the truth. As long as it has escape speed, they cannot hit it. Hibiki thinks carefully. Then he finds the key weakness. The rabbit can't use escape speed while attacking, so he creates a risky plan. Block its escape routes. Make it attack him and attack it while it's distracted. Amalia is worried. That's dangerous, and how will you even pull that off? But Hibiki stays calm. Its intelligence is low. They set the trap. Hibiki pretends to be weak, even lying down like bait. The rabbit takes the bait and attacks him at that exact moment. Amalia fires. The rabbit is killed instantly. Hibiki is surprised they actually succeeded. Amalia is shocked too, but then she realizes something deeper. The rabbit attacked Hibiki because he looked weak. That's when she quietly worries. Will he be okay? Then the system voice appears. Level increased. Job level increased. Hibiki is confused again, but Amalia explains. He gained experience because he contributed, and she gives him full credit. He analyzed the enemy, he made the plan, he acted as bait. This was a team victory. Then the scene suddenly shifts. A mysterious man sits on a golden chair and says, "You've overcome 2 big hurdles, but this is still just a tutorial." And then he mentions Hibiki's name. This hints that someone is watching him and guiding his journey. Finally, the story cuts to a girl's registering as adventurers. She is now officially part of the Adventurers Guild and preparing to take jobs. And that's where episode 1 of The Strongest Job is apparently not a hero or a sage, but an appraiser provisional ends. If you enjoyed this episode and want more, hit 6 to 7 likes on this video, and I'll bring the next one soon.